I'm very happy. I'm very happy. This sentence is correct, and everyone will understand you. But listen to how a fluent speaker might say this instead. I'm thrilled. I'm really excited about it. I'm pretty happy about that. The idea is exactly the same, but the language sounds much more natural and expressive. For example, you might hear someone say, I'm thrilled about the opportunity, or I'm really excited about starting this project. Fluent speakers often choose more specific or expressive words instead of using very all the time. So today we're going to upgrade basic English sentences into fluent English. Here's another very common sentence. I'm very tired. Now listen to how fluent speakers usually say this. I'm exhausted. Native speakers will often replace very plus an adjective with a stronger word, a more appropriate word. So instead of saying, I'm very tired, they say, I'm exhausted. For example, I'm exhausted after work, or I was completely exhausted after that long trip. You might also hear someone say, I'm so exhausted today, which adds even more emphasis. Let's try another one. I'm very hungry. Fluent speakers usually say, I'm starving. This sounds more natural and more expressive. For example, I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day. Or by the time we got home, we were starving. You could also hear, I'm absolutely starving, especially in more casual conversations. Here's another one. The movie is very good. Now, listen to the fluent version. The movie is excellent. The movie is fantastic. This movie is really good, actually. Native speakers often replace very good with stronger words or slightly more natural phrasing. For example, that movie was fantastic. You should watch it. Or the film was excellent from start to finish. You might also hear, it was actually really good, which adds a more conversational tone. Quick question for you. Which sounds more natural? I'm very hungry or I'm starving? Tell me in the comments. And if you want, try writing your own upgraded sentence using one of the words from this lesson. Let's upgrade another sentence. This is very interesting. Fluent speakers often say, this is fascinating, or that's really interesting, actually. For example, that article was fascinating, or that's really interesting, actually. I didn't know that. You could also say, I found that really fascinating, which sounds natural in conversation. Here's another basic sentence. I'm very scared. Fluent speakers often say, I'm terrified. This is much stronger and more natural. For example, I was terrified during the storm, or she's terrified of spiders. You might also hear, I was absolutely terrified, especially when someone is telling a story. So far, you've learned something very important. Fluent speakers often replace very plus an adjective with stronger vocabulary. This is one of the fastest ways to sound more fluent. But earlier I mentioned there's one upgrade fluent speakers use constantly in conversations. And this one is extremely powerful. I'll show you that in a moment. Let's quickly review what you've learned so far. Instead of saying, I'm very tired, you can say, I'm exhausted. Instead of, I'm very hungry, you can say, I'm starving. Instead of, this movie is very good, you can say, this movie is fantastic. And instead of, this is very interesting, this is fascinating. These small changes can make a big difference in how natural your English sounds. And by the way, if you want to practice these vocabulary upgrades even more, I've created a free PDF that includes all of the upgrades from this lesson, plus many more common upgrades that fluent speakers use every day. You can download it using the link in the description below. It's a great way to review these expressions and build them into your everyday English. Now, let me show you the conversation upgrade I mentioned earlier. Fluent speakers very often add the word actually. This is extremely common in English. For example, Instead of saying, "This movie is very good," a fluent speaker might say, "This movie is really good, actually." Or, "That's really interesting, actually." You might also hear sentences like, "I don't like it, actually." Or, "It's pretty expensive, actually." Or, "I enjoyed it, actually." This small word makes your English sound more natural, more conversational, and less direct. It also helps soften your tone, which is something native speakers do all the time. Let's combine everything you've learned. This restaurant is very good. Fluent versions might be, this restaurant is excellent. This restaurant is fantastic. Or, this restaurant is really good, actually. For example, that restaurant is fantastic. We should go again. Or, the food was really good, actually. I was surprised. You might also hear, it's actually a really good place, especially in casual conversation. Let's look at one more example to really lock this in. I'm very busy. A fluent speaker might say, I'm swamped, or I'm really busy actually. For example, I'm swamped with work this week, or I'm really busy actually. I'll call you later. These small upgrades make your English sound much more natural and closer to how native speakers really communicate. Today, you learned a simple but powerful trick fluent speakers use all the time. Instead of saying very tired or very hungry or very interesting, they use stronger, more specific words like exhausted, starving, or fascinating. And they often add natural conversation words like actually to sound more fluent and relaxed. These small changes don't require advanced grammar, but they make a huge difference in how natural your English sounds. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to see my next lesson. Until next time, keep learning and we'll talk soon.